Good morning, and welcome back to Book Morning Coffee, your audiobook for morning, where every sunrise invites you to breathe deeper, think slower, and reconnect with the wisdom that lives quietly within you. This video is part of our 15 wisdom journey through The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a series that helps you realign your heart, your courage, and your purpose, one peaceful morning at a time. Today, you're listening to Wisdom #9. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than suffering itself. It's a line that hits deep because we've all felt it. The fear that something might go wrong often hurts more than when it actually does. So let's take a quiet moment to understand why fear feels heavier than reality and how you can walk through it with peace. This wisdom is a reminder of one of life's great paradoxes. We suffer more in imagination than in experience. When we fear pain, rejection, loss, or change, our mind begins to create endless stories. It imagines every worst-case scenario over and over again until fear itself becomes the suffering. But when the moment actually comes, it's rarely as terrible as we imagined. Because pain is temporary, but fear can become a prison. Paulo Coelho invites us to talk to our hearts, not to silence fear, but to remind it of truth. That life's real weight comes not from what happens, but from what we keep replaying in our minds. In The Alchemist, Santiago faces many fears. Fear of losing everything when he leaves home. Fear of failure when he's robbed in Tangier. Fear of dying in the desert. But each time, his heart whispers, "Keep going." At one point, when he faces the possibility of death, the alchemist tells him, "Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself." It's in that moment Santiago realizes his fear was never protecting him. It was only keeping him small. Once he understood that, he walked lighter. He trusted life again. And that's when everything started to unfold. Fear is not evil. It's a messenger. It says, something important is happening. But fear becomes dangerous when we mistake it for truth. The mind says, don't try, you might fail. Don't love, you might get hurt. Don't speak, they might judge. But behind every what if lies a deeper message. I care about this. Fear is proof that something matters to you. The goal is not to kill fear, but to walk with it gently, firmly, compassionately. Think of the times you hesitated because of fear. The dream you didn't chase. The person you didn't call. The chance you didn't take. And now, years later, you realize the pain of not trying is far heavier than the pain of trying and failing. Many people live inside that invisible suffering. Not because life is cruel, but because fear convinced them to stop living. The truth is, the heart can handle pain. It's fear that it cannot handle because fear means distance from truth. Paulo Coelho says, tell your heart. That means talk to yourself consciously, like you would to a dear friend. Here are 5 gentle ways to do it. Acknowledge the fear. Don't pretend you're fearless. Say softly, I see you, fear. You're trying to protect me. Ask if it's real. Is this fear based on fact or imagination? Most fears live in what if, not what is. Bring yourself back to now. Take one deep breath. In this exact moment, are you safe? Most often, yes. Act small but steady. Courage isn't loud. It's one small action that says, I'm moving anyway. Thank your heart. It beats through every storm. It deserves your trust. Imagine a person standing on a diving board, afraid to jump. Their fear builds, heartbeat racing, mind spinning. The moment they finally leap, the fear dissolves. Not because the water changed, but because they did. Life works the same way. The fear of the unknown is almost always worse than the unknown itself. And once you move, life catches you. When you start to walk through fear, you enter a state of quiet power, because you realize The worst thing that could happen is rarely fatal, it's just uncomfortable. But through that discomfort comes expansion. Every brave choice widens your world. Every small act of courage tells your heart, you can trust me. That's how confidence is built, not by removing fear, but by dancing with it until it loses control. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of something you've been afraid to do, a step you've been postponing. Now imagine your heart speaking to you. The fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. What would happen if you trusted that voice just for today? What would shift if you moved 1 inch closer to what you truly want? Feel that quiet strength inside you. That's courage, gentle, steady, and real. As you finish your morning coffee, remember this wisdom from the Alchemist. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than suffering itself. Fear will visit you, let it, but don't let it lead. Because peace doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from walking through it with trust. This was Wisdom #9 from our 15 Wisdom Alchemist Journey Calm Reflections to start your day with clarity and strength. Up next, in Wisdom #0, we'll explore. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. A continuation of today's theme, where we'll learn how to move beyond fear and take the first real step towards success. When you're ready, click the next video and continue your morning journey with Book Morning Coffee. And if this message brought you peace, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your next audiobook for morning reflection.